Okay, we're back for part 2. This is our little alternative awards for the
Segment.
Premier League
Yeah.
season. We're going to just quickly... go
Feels like a
through-
long time ago, but I think it's going to be
I was saying
interesting.
this the other day. Feels like the season finished
3
ages
weeks,
ago.
literally 3 weeks ago.
But it's been a long season, hasn't
It's been a long year for football, full stop.
Back to the Grealish point, 11 months,
it?
basically.
No one cares about Grealish. Tired of
Hang it in the Louvre.
Tired of this guy's
All right. So how we're going to do this is everyone will have like 5 categories to host. Try to be enthusiastic, not zombified. Yeah. Yeah, it's more just alternative award categories and who we think stood out and rationale. So I guess whoever's hosting for the first 5 segments or 5 categories,
Yep.
you need to drive the...
conversation.
Yeah. So we want to hear your
Opinion.
debate on each part first. So I think you have first go, Maz. So let's start with the first category. What is it?
Breakout star.
So who have you got, Maz? And show it to the world, baby.
Got, I can't pronounce the name.
Estupiñán.
Estupiñán?
Was that the left back that they
Yeah.
got to
Left
replace
back,
La
yeah,
Cucaracha?
Yeah.
Cucurella.
Yeah, La
we
Cucaracha.
call him
I call him
Cucaracha because he's
yeah.
just annoying. All right. Estupiñán. Great signing. Rationale.
I don't think this is an alternative award because I think he got pretty much highly.
Was it because of the
High
cost?
No,
rated.
it's
I
our
think
awards.
my award for breakout star
It's our
because
awards, so it's just the alternative awards.
I
It's
think
not-
I think it's just another Brighton gem that they found, and after the noise around Cucurella leaving, how they're going to replace him because he made such a big impact. on
60
them.
million, yeah.
60
yeah.
And for they got 60 mil. How much did they buy him for?
10, 12, yeah.
I'd also like to say that the flaws that we all knew about La Cucaracha at Brighton were just highlighted more at Chelsea.
Did
And
we know
Potter
where the
should-
flaws were?
Yes.
Were we all raving about him?
No, no,
being
no,
a
He
good
was the
signing?
best player of the
no,
season.
no,
Yeah.
he was, but the same defensive liabilities he had
True.
were at Brighton. They were on show. It's just the system masked it very well.
Yeah, 3 at the back, I suppose.
Because
helped
remember
him.
Zinchenko when he was doing what he was doing at left back for City the year before, and everyone was like, "Yeah, he's great at it," and no one questioned him defensively. Like we knew he wasn't the best, but no one made such a big deal about it. Gone to Arsenal this season, well, last season, and everyone's like, "Oh, he can't defend." Like we still knew that, just it wasn't highlighted as much.
But this guy can do both. By
Yeah.
the looks
Yeah,
of it.
definitely.
He can
Great
defend.
player.
He's great going forward. I think he scored a couple of goals near the end of the season. That
Yeah, solid replacement.
Got another Brighton boy.
Casado.
I think he's absolutely smashed it. Towards the end of the season, played right back, played centre. I think he's just a superstar in the making, basically. Brighton again, gem. But yeah, who have you got?
And I've got Paulino because I think I was checking the stats, and essentially, when he doesn't play, they don't win.
Simply put,
Yeah, and
I think that's another underrated signing, man. Really good
I
player.
try not to make everything about stats because I think then we just the eye test will just ignore that.
I was close to it.
But for his defensive record is a bit worrying in that he's got quite a lot of cards, etc. But I don't think Fulham would have been anywhere near where they were this season without him, because the Premier League, and we've always said Fulham always had yo-yo, and the issue generally is always they either don't score enough or they concede too many. Often it's not scoring enough and they concede too many, which is why they always go back down. He, for me, has helped them. Leno too, but
Yeah.
he's definitely helped in them not conceding as much.
You guys haven't seen each other's answers.
No.
So it's interesting to hear because I think this is a very, I mean, I'll let you take it away because it's your award show for the first 5 categories, but I think this is a controversial opinion.
Underrated got Onana.
For
Everton.
most underrated player.
Underrated though?
I think he was.
Yeah, I would say so, but I wouldn't be my pick. But yeah, go on.
It
Sorry.
probably wouldn't be most people's pick, but I think his performances have been overshadowed by being in that relegation battle with Everton. I could quite easily see him fit into
Any team.
any team.
I think his physical profile just
maybe
helps him.
apart from City, but I think he'll fit into Arsenal's team quite easily.
Yeah.
Fit into United's midfield easily. Most top 4 clubs he'll fit into.
Would you
And
take him at United right now?
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of what Fred. He replace Fred. So,
Easily.
yeah. So
Even CJ can
See,
replace
yeah,
Fred.
yeah, so-
my issue with calling him underrated is the hype was always there. Because remember, he went to Everton instead
True.
of other teams because Lampard, I'm guessing Lampard's pitch was, you know how good I was as a midfielder. I can make you a better version of me
Yeah.
in a modern game.
who else wanted him?
I know a few people.
Chelsea
I think
wanted
Chelsea
him.
wanted him.
I think Arsenal was sniffing around United. were
Newcastle as
interested.
well.
Like, And I mean,
Okay.
again,
I
this
wasn't-
could have
yeah.
been agent noise.
Yeah.
But
A big fee as well, 40 million or
yeah,
something.
I think for them he's solid. Like I get what you mean about underrated, but
And I still think he's got goals in him as well. So
Oh, definitely.
in a better team, he'll
because this
score
is his
goals.
first season.
Who have you gone for?
I'm just gonna say this terribly wrong, so I'm just
Oni.
Mainly-
Basically, he saves
because
Forest.
He's the reason why Forest are in the league
Yeah.
for next season.
I don't rate him as a striker.
This is why he's underrated.
This
This is
I
exactly
think
why.
a lot of goals
This is
were
not-
quite lucky.
No, they were.
That Arsenal goal,
Yeah,
like
That was ridiculous.
That was like-
all I'm saying is his goals kept him up in the league because when it came to crunch time at the end of the season,
Scored
he
like
was scoring.
5 and 6, 5
Yeah.
and 7
yeah,
or
but
something.
these goals were coming off his shin, and I mean, he had fair play to him, but I
Just remind me again where Forest are playing next season.
Yeah.
Premier
Yeah.
League.
yeah, no,
It
it's
worked.
fine.
I mean, I think he might struggle next season,
Yeah.
but for this season, he kept them up.
I got a Forest player as well, Brennan Johnson's, I think.
he was good.
Really good player on 21, 22. Great in dribbling. I think scored 8 goals. Contributed heavily to Nottingham Forest as well. Going forward, I think he was the most available player that they had all season.
Oh, in
Was
terms
they-
of just minutes played.
Yeah.
Did someone put a bid in for him recently? They turned down like a record.
So I
bid.
think so, someone like that. I think even Newcastle randomly inquired about him and they said no. I think he's
Or the
ready
club
to
was-
stay.
but yeah,
I
someone
mean,
put-
you can't if you sell the players that helped you stay up.
just
Next season they're
stupid,
going
bro.
back down.
All right.
That's who's next.
What's your next category?
goalkeeper. I got Leno.
I mean, both of you. I get it. Is especially I think the cost comes into this. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
£3 million
because
pounds. Like
it's a steal. And remember what I said earlier about Fulham's issue is always they don't score enough and they concede loads whenever they're in the Premier League.
I've liked Leno even as
He's a shot
he was a
stopper.
shot
To be
stopper.
fair,
He's
you got to say
amazing.
fair play to him because he could have easily gone abroad and played for a big club.
Yeah,
He
but
stayed.
we
London,
accommodated
right,
his
yeah.
request to stay in London, and we even took a cut, which is stupid. But
Paid, as in
yeah,
Yeah.
paid him off.
we got a bid from Germany for like 12 million, and we said no because he said
He wanted to stay in London. I think we basically did what
Fair play to him.
what's it called? Was it when Willian wanted to leave Chelsea and the club basically went, you know
Question-
what, you've been a good servant.
Question
So
for you both: do you think he's better than Ramsdale?
No,
shot stopping, yes.
not as a goalkeeper in general. No,
But if we're talking overall, no, because with his ball at his feet, he's still not great.
Yeah,
he's a
but-
great. He's found that like that sort of. If you're not gonna play from the back as a dependency, that fantastic keeper.
He's a German De Gea.
yeah, that's all.
Good way. I've got David Raya. I
Yeah.
think he's Spurs are stupid to have backed out from buying him. I think
With 40 mil though.
he was gonna stay there for at least 10 years. Think about that as an investment, and he's one of the best ball playing
True.
keepers ever I've seen.
Spurs backed out,
Yeah,
or,
they've
gone for
someone
or
else.
did he say he wanted to play?
He
Champions
said he
League
wanted to
football?
go Tottenham.
Oh, I thought
He
he-
literally
I thought
said
he
that
wanted
to
you.
win trophies, which I was like, that's a bit stupid. But
Agent talk maybe.
I
But,
think United should be in for him.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a great replacement.
you need a ball playing goalkeeper.
I think he had like 11 clean sheets. He played the first season. He had another 10 clean sheets in the first season
and
in
he's
Premier
playing for
League.
Brentford.
Playing for Brentford, great with his feet, good
Familiar
shots.
with the
He's
league
everything,
already,
man.
yeah.
Like I don't understand how people can just be like,
Yeah,
But
no
I
idea.
think he probably gets overlooked because Brentford just generally do well.
yeah,
And so
the plucky underdog,
so
basically.
you have the impression that they're doing well on the whole, so you don't really look at individual players because, like, I know he's good, but I never really think of him like, oh yeah, he's an outstanding keeper because he just does what he needs to do.
I
Does that
think
make
he's
sense?
sick, man. Like, I mean, Unai Simon is like the Spain keeper, but I mean, you'd
I feel
be
he's better.
a lot better. I
feel he's
think.
better.
I don't know much of him.
What's the next category, mate?
Team of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
So
got
who have you gone for?
Newcastle.
Oh wow, thinking out of the box there.
Oh,
I'm so
I think
disappointed
it's-
in you,
Yeah,
man.
man.
well, to be honest, I think everyone had them down to be mid-table.
Yeah.
Maybe even a relegation scrap. Some people, I think, for them to get Champions League, it's massive for them.
Huge.
Like, it's
Was it first time since like the 2000s or something?
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. Yeah.
and these guys were fighting relegation last season. So, team of the season, most improved team of the season, 100%. I think.
Who you gone? Don
it was
Emery.
close. It was close. It was going to be between Aston Villa or Brighton.
That post Gerrard.
But I think,
Of course.
obviously, but I think if you look at where they were when Emery took over, and I know we're talking about the team here, not the
It's
manager.
like 18th or something.
Yeah, 17th, 18th, same with the addition of one player, and then they got into Europe. So
Yeah.
for me,
Conference League, right?
yeah. So for me, yeah, that's why they get team of the season.
I've gone with Fulham just because I think everyone expected them to be Fulham, and like scrap it out of relegation. I think Marco Silva's decent signings, playing well. They comfortably made safety within like the first half of the season. I think they just tailed off at the end of it because they didn't need to.
And the Mitrovic ban.
Yeah, I just think they play attractive football. They've established themselves as another London team. I like their players. I like the manager as well. Has been given time. But yeah, you've got them on forward watch for next season. So
We'll
see
interesting to see how that comes along.
Surprised not waiting for Brighton.
Is that? Yeah, but I think it's
Is it
just too
obvious one?
obvious, man. Like,
Yeah, I think okay,
Brighton's already featured 2 players in the first category, which was like Estupiñán and Caicedo. How many segments was that? 4 or 5? I'll give you one, do one more.
Defensive duo got Stones and Diaz.
Please expand. I mean, is there
that's
anything
pretty
to say?
I think that's just
they won the league.
obvious. Like, without these to the beginning of the season, they were poor defensively.
I think
By-
City were bad, not bad. They were average until Diaz came back from injury. I think when Diaz came back with Stones,
They were
Diaz
just on another
for
level.
me is the it's gonna sound really stupid. I'm gonna say anyway. The only defender for City that can actually defend.
yeah.
Yeah.
As in, when you just need someone to defend,
Yeah.
Diaz, which
It's
is
a good
why
way
they-
to put
But
it.
you said that Stones was making a few last-ditch tackles.
But if you
this
were to
season.
No,
pick
but like-
one
Oh,
defender,
yeah.
As
One
in,
out
if
and
I
out
was like,
defender.
pick one-
Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
but
I'm
it's like a
always picking Diaz.
purest defender. It's
yeah,
Diaz.
100%. Easy.
For me, I did Saliba and Gabriel because essentially we were great when they were paired, and as soon as they weren't paired together, well, we know how the season ended.
The asterisk on that is Saliba basically his first season in Premier League football,
Exactly.
and he stood out. I'm not trying to be biased, but easily one of the top 3 defenders in the league.
Yeah, it's just for me. I think that's too easy a choice to make. That the stats were backing it up, and how we were compared to the season before. But yeah,
I went with Nathan Pinnock and Henry, left back, Brentford. I think Thomas Frank, again, he should be in my list, but I made a mistake, I think. But great pairing. I think underrated. Pinnock, I think, is a really good defender. Again, not really given the plaudits. Jamaican.
He doesn't. Yeah,
I don't know if he's the captain. I could be wrong.
I'm
It
not
could be
sure.
Antonio.
I'm not sure.
But
he hasn't
yeah,
played there for a while. I think.
I think Henry needs a shout in terms of the England squad in the next couple of years if he
He won't
continues
get-
to
he won't
perform.
Is
get
he a
it, though.
centre back? I thought it was
Left
I
back.
thought it was a left.
I'm saying like
He's
because
saying
they
as
play on
in-
the left
okay. Yeah,
segment
yeah,
of the
yeah.
defense, and they combine really well. I think quite well. But anyway, that's me trying to be the alternative guy.
No, that's fair enough pick. Okay, I'll do creative star. This, I'm afraid to say, is really pretty obvious. So don't shoot me,
Hold
everyone.
on, you
De Bruyne.
you told me my defense was.
It was, but also the stats back this up. Like without De Bruyne, City don't win anything. Essentially,
It wasn't a great alternative. Was it?
no, it wasn't. I wasn't trying to be like left field here, but
I
Whether it was-
literally did say in the conversation like try to think a bit outside the box.
no, I know, but
fair
like
enough.
him linking up with Haaland, he scored when he needed to. For me, City aren't City without De Bruyne, which is why they need to get his back up.
He is the image of
Yeah,
City.
and
basically.
get a backup for him quickly. Because I mean, like I could have gone Odegaard, but okay, Arsenal. I can't keep picking Arsenal players. Well, you're a
Nice.
United fan,
I
so
was gonna go Bruno to be honest, but I thought, you know what, I'm not
Oh,
going Bruno because
funny you say that. On camera, I am selecting a United player, by
we
the way.
basically all picked
People
what
that
someone
would-
else would have picked.
Yeah.
yeah,
Fairs.
I would have gone Bruno, but then I thought, you know, I'm not going Bruno because you're not a fan. I'm going to be
Yeah,
perceived as being
the
biased.
The stats
But
back
yeah,
up.
most creative player.
Stats
in the league.
back him
But
up
To be
too.
fair, I
Yeah.
just like, I actually like him. Just like I like
way he
watching him
plays.
play
He's
football.
a wavy player.
Yeah, I mean when he's bad, he's really off it. But when he's on it, he's just like on another level.
15 goals from midfield. Like,
Yeah, I think there's a
come on,
couple-
man.
couple-
That's
games-
the most. That's the most
couple of
goals
games
from
towards
midfield,
the
right?
Non-penalty, yeah.
goals.
Yeah,
Since
I think there's a couple of
Lampard
games
did it.
towards the end of last season where unfortunately he could have like done a bit more. But
I think
23
the problem
yeah.
for him, right, is, and to be honest, this is a general Arsenal problem in like on the whole, is if you mark one player out of the game for Arsenal and the other players aren't picking up the slack, it's very obvious that that one player's having a bad game.
Yeah.
So a lot of games that you'd think Odegaard was playing really badly, it's just he was marked to death. Same way with Saka. Sometimes you'd get double.
There's no
triple
alternative,
marked.
man.
So
but
there's
I,
no one
I think
stepping
I think
up in
the,
his absence.
yeah,
to
but I
do-
think the great players find a way of.
They have to.
They have to find a way of playing around that because if you're going to be one of the stars of a team,
And the
you're
master,
going to be marked out.
master of
KDB,
that is
yeah.
KDB.
He,
Yeah.
he moves himself to the right.
But also, he's what, like 7 years older than Odegaard?
Yeah.
So we got to be fair.
Most chances created. Consistently scoring in double figures over the last 4-5 seasons. Consistently
in a very dysfunctional
average
United
team.
team.
Consistently giving assists. I really don't like him as a player in terms of his
I hate his personality.
demeanor.
I hate his personality.
Everything about it I don't like, but I cannot fault the numbers.
Theatrics.
I think he's, as much as he's a whiny prick, he's their leader on the pitch as well, I think. And you would be, without, as much as I hate him too, De Gea, without De Gea and this guy last season, I think you guys would be nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So, but he deserves all the plaudits, 100%.
All right. Got substitute star of the season. So I've gone with Matoma.
Was there
Was
the
he a
specific
sub?
game?
I
Was there?
feel like he came on against us as a sub and then he scored.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's just
yeah.
stuck in my mind. I mean, he hasn't always been a sub. Like he
started most of the
he
games.
started a couple of games and stuff. But for me, just as impact, and this is just, I feel generally as a player who often was a substitute, I feel he's just been very head and shoulders above the rest.
And I guess he's established himself now as a starter just because of how strong he
But I
was.
feel like his
up there.
cameos as a sub, that goal he scored against us, PTSD. Anyway, yeah, Matoma, because Brighton needs to make their way onto these
And
awards
again,
somehow.
Mine probably links to a bit to that. Mine went Firmino for the game against Arsenal as well. Only because I think when he came on for that game, it completely changed the way Liverpool played against you guys.
Is this you giving Bobby Dazzler his flowers as he leaves the Premier League?
No, it's more
Because he's left now, right?
Yeah, he has left. But I think that game had the biggest impacts on the league itself. Like that's when the downfall of Arsenal started, and then City picked up from that game onwards. I think overall, Firmino, and I know it's one game, but he had a wider effect on the league as well. So for that
Thinking
basis,
outside the box, man.
there you go.
thank God he's out of the league, box to box prick.
And he
Tired
should
of
love
that
playing
guy.
against you guys.
Exactly, I'm tired of that guy. Leave.
I've gone again for a Brentford player.
Enough goals, Sid.
Vissa just comes off the bench, bangs. I don't
Also,
think it's.
I'd
giving
argue
him
he's
props.
done that consistently for two seasons.
Every time,
He's
man.
done it for 2 seasons now. It's not just like a one
He's
season.
like in double figures for goals, and he literally comes off the bench for
Well,
50%.
he might be the main man next season,
He has to be.
unless they want
he
someone.
scores goals.
Tony's not around until what, January?
January.
I would like. We'll obviously come into tactical award or whatever, but I think Thomas Frank using him is an underrated tactical innovation in the sense of what he's done and how he makes them play and what his impact is, man.
I'd
I think he
argue
gets no flowers, man.
He's the version of Oli
Yeah.
for United because Ferguson would always bring Oli on and he'd get
Well,
goals.
it'll be interesting to see how he plays next season as a star. I don't think he'll have the same. He might have the same effect, but it'll be interesting to see.
I think he'd be decent, man.
Okay, so this is the best team goal of the season. I've gone with Newcastle and the goal that was it Murphy?
Everton.
Murphy scored. Yeah, Murphy. Was it Murphy?
Yeah, was it? Or was it Isaac on the wing?
Isaac with his little mazy
Oh,
run
yeah,
past
yeah,
like 3
yeah.
or 4 Everton players,
Yep.
and he pretty much I think gave Murphy a tap in. So
Who was yours?
That's my team goal.
I went for City, an obvious one, but I think there's a couple of goals that stood out for me. I think it was that Haaland overhead kick and also the Gundogan against Everton in the penalty area. I couldn't decide between the two, and I thought, you know what, I think City's the obvious one.
It's like the Bournemouth for the goal against Arsenal in the 9 seconds where they just kicked off down the wing, Billing in the center.
yeah,
I think that was incredible. As a team goal to start the game off like that away from home in a relegation scrap, amazing.
I'm actually quite glad, like on the balance of things, that Bournemouth stayed up because I felt they played good football.
Yeah.
Gary O'Neill, man.
Yeah,
That's what
they
I'm
didn't. They
saying.
didn't necessarily always win playing it. But
Not
they
the
were
sexy
still,
guy, but
they were still brave and still continued to
Gave
play.
us moments.
Yeah, they still played football. They didn't just go into let's just defend, nick a goal, and then keep
Sean
defending.
Dyche football,
Yeah,
but
or
effective.
Allardyce, to be honest.
What's your next category?
So this goes for the best off-pitch moment. So mine is Tuchel versus Conte.
That was the weirdest shit.
We all
ever.
know about that handshake and just
It felt so long ago, though,
it
man. They
speaks for
both got
itself.
fired.
That's what I'm saying. This is like an RIP kind of post because they're no longer with us.
Oh, I forgot that was this season.
Yeah, that's how long ago it
I'm
was.
pretty sure it's like first. This was like within the first month of the
Yeah.
season. So
Literally just did that weird handshake and they just
Just-
went, oh.
I think I've got a different brief to you on that one. I got Grealish fan mail. Only because
It was off pitch, but
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
what you mean.
I mean, they're still technically both off the pitch.
only because I wasn't really following much, but
what exactly happened? Do you
mean
remember?
the kid that wrote
yeah,
him?
the kid that wrote to him, and then like
Or Just Wish?
yeah, and then like he kind of
Oh,
made the kids
yeah,
do
I
it.
think I remember that.
I think
remember that.
just on because that just stuck in my mind, so I just went with that.
This is my favorite. Goldbridge, when he was watching on his stream, Mark.
We're talking about the 7-0, right?
Yeah, when he went behind his couch or whatever, his seat after the 7th goal, went in best moment in my. I swear, I have never laughed as that. He was just like, "Oh no, please no!" But yeah, this was an iconic moment.
He is a funny guy.
I love it.
To give him his flowers.
I guess I can take over.
Yeah, sure.
We've
Go
got
for it.
like 11 minutes to go. Tactical innovation. Oops, I've gone with Eddie Howe, with Joe Linton, as well as Dan Burn. And how
I was gonna
he's
put Joe Linton, but I was like, that's too obvious.
it's just how it's not just one player. It was even, Trippier to a certain extent, but Joe Linton, Isak on the wing, buying a £60 million striker in January, and Dan Burn playing left back. Like, I think where he got them to and how he worked around the tactics, I think you need to give him some sort of
Eddie
praise.
Howe is going the way that Potter will go.
Interesting.
That's my random tangential thought.
Who's your?
I've got De Zerbi.
Oh no, you've plucked his heart there, mate.
Shout out to Steve.
How about?
The thing is, I knew that if I kept picking Deserve, you were going to be like, oh, I wonder who this guy is.
What's
I
the
tried to be different.
You haven't gone for him.
what's the rationale? I mean, I
think
know, but it could
The
be.
impacts he's had on Brighton, the league. I actually enjoy watching Brighton play.
He's made them better, right?
Yeah. I thought, don't get me wrong, Potter did a great job with them, and they still play good football with Potter. But he's come in and he managed to put his stamp on the team in such a short space of time.
The levels are so wavy.
Usually they say give a manager time, but he's just come in and literally changed it overnight.
And I know, but generally you are meant to give people time. He's just an exception to the rule here.
Yeah.
So I went with probably quite an obvious one, but Pep and 4 centre backs, just because. Well,
Treble, man.
When has anyone else done it? And he won the treble doing it. So yeah.
Yep.
Young talent. I know it's controversial, but I went with Gabriel Martinelli.
Did I do a young talent one?
I think you did. Did I mess up the cards?
Slightly, it's okay.
Yeah.
So I went with Martinelli because he's tied now for the most goals by Brazilian in the Premier League with
And if
Bobby.
it wasn't for getting injured by
Caicedo,
against
he would have
Brighton,
broken
he would have
that
broken
easily.
it.
But breakout season, 21 years old. 15, 16 goals.
coming back from injury.
Smashed it. I don't think we give this guy enough praise because of the way Saka plays. I think he's one of the best signings that Arsenal have ever made in the last 20 years, easily. But yeah, that's my pitch. What have you got?
In Cisco.
Another Brighton player.
Yep. To be fair, I think he's only stepped up the last couple of months, I'd say.
I don't know if
But
he
he's
played
scored
much at the beginning, man.
Scored some crazy goals.
Goal against City was just filth.
Yeah.
Goal against Chelsea was him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both
So
long
he's,
Rangers.
again, I think he's got. Next season we'll tell, but I'm looking forward to watching him.
As you can tell, Box to Box clearly has a love affair with Brighton because I've gone
Of
Ferguson
course.
for young talent. Because if there is one player in the Premier League I really want to see at Arsenal, it would be Ferguson. Because
Damn, man.
for me, he's kind of like
Thirst-
Haaland in that throwback striker.
Thirsting for De Zerbi, thirsting for Ferguson.
Spot a theme. But yeah, Ferguson, he's a great
what's-
striker.
Just so I don't mess up the next one. What have you guys got as the next category?
Drama.
Drama was you guys. I didn't get that because it
I've
was the
just
same
gone
thing.
for Arsenal.
So you guys are the same thing, right?
Last minute goal. So yeah, enough said, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of
All
speaks
right.
for itself.
I guess you can go the next category.
Teamwork, City. Well, I think we discussed City earlier in the pod, like the way they play as a team.
Was there something?
Okay.
I can't remember what the principle was. Like, what was the category specific? Was it just how they played or something?
I think is the best. Yeah, I think it must have been how they played.
Because for some reason I've got Bournemouth again.
It wasn't team goal because already done team goal. Best teamwork display? No.
Yeah, that should be it. What was
Yeah.
yours, CJ?
I've got Brighton. Teamwork.
I'm
Should've
surprised. Fucking.
Should
hell,
have
man.
guessed.
I think the teamwork category was more
I just think
what they achieved in that
that's,
sense.
That's how I took it. So I was just like,
I
the
didn't.
fact that,
That makes sense. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
you know, obviously.
Mine, I think, was more towards Gary O'Neill and how they survived. Again,
Gary O'Neill needs his flowers. but he's
Brentford
not
and
gonna get
Brighton, Bournemouth have like featured very heavily this thing.
Okay,
But yeah,
we'll do
sorry,
that
go on, man.
next.
Gary O'Neill. Funny enough.
it. Manager.
Yeah.
Got my babes.
Oh, it had to be.
Fuck's sake.
Had to be. Listen. Okay. All I'm gonna say is
Oh, no way.
no. His explanation will make sense. But
Go on.
the reason for De Zerbi, I'm gonna say, is because, like you said, everyone thought that they were punching above their weight with Potter. Oh, they only just need a proper striker and they'll be able to score goals. He literally took over the team.
Had Welbeck.
He had Welbeck scoring regularly. Welbeck was looking about 10 years younger. So I look forward to seeing them next season. That's what I'm going to say.
Moyes is my manager of the season. And let me tell you why in 1 minute. This man...
You've
I'm
got
going to give you
five,
60
like
seconds. Go on, go on.
I've got
less than 60 seconds. This man frauded his way from a relegation scrap, signed a £40 million Italian striker who was banging goals regularly, and then defaulted to long ball to Souček and Antonio, and then won a European Championship. Okay? For that in itself, he deserved my minus here. But let it be known, on camera, he's on fraud watch for the next 12 months. But well done, David Moyes, because you messed up West Ham and you're going down the fucking drain. I hate you, but here you go. Here's your flowers. Absolute prick. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. This is therapy for all of us.
Next category, mate.
what is in this category? Oh, versatility.
Okay,
Yeah.
go for it. I mean, yours is
John
self-explanatory.
Stones, just because.
Smashed
thought
it.
it
We
would-
did touch on
yeah,
it.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Not me picking a City player, too.
It's a surprising choice, to be honest.
Foden, really?
I've gone with Foden because, for me, he's been in and out of the team, but whatever he's been asked to play as, he's always performed. And we were talking about this in the group chat where Liam was saying he has to nail down a position now because essentially he's becoming a utility man.
Champions League, it showed me in the final, man, that he can play centrally. He is the guy.
Had a
Man.
good game, though.
He had
Yeah.
a really good game.
So I think my only concern for him potentially could be make a place your own rather than just being the guy that's just going to fill in anywhere and everywhere. But I guess when you're at City, it's not a bad trait to have.
Do you think he's taking over from De Bruyne?
Maybe.
No, I don't know.
If they don't find
I don't
anyone,
think he's
if they
got-
don't find anyone, I think the potential is there for it to happen.
I've gone with Gakpo, just given the signing. January, played right wing, plays like Bobby Firmino, but a bit better, I think. Potentially because he can run with the ball.
Also, he's adapted to the league really quickly. Very quickly.
I think he's just a very smart signing again by Liverpool. I think he's going to do really well
Because
next
we're
season.
talking
man.
about January signing here.
Yeah, and
so
he started on the right wing, and then they decided, wait, Nunez can go left, and we'll put him in the middle. And he started like
And
Yeah.
he would have just come off playing the World Cup.
it's
and
paining
then
him because he knows United should have signed him as well.
You had the,
No,
you
don't-
had the chance.
I think he would
didn't
be sick at United.
Probably
Man.
as a striker, yeah. I think
because didn't you had the chance in you, and that's why no, it was Diaz. I'm thinking about last season.
Diaz,
The
yeah.
reason why they bought Diaz is because you were interested. and They were like,
Well,
okay, we have to step up. So we
Diaz
so we
turned
got-
us down for Champions League football, and then wow,
And then
Have
he's
a
not
nose,
in the
so.
Champions League anymore.
no, it's Nunes that turned us down.
Nunez.
Wow, life
Not,
completely
yeah,
fast.
I'm not complaining about that.
Really?
No, Nunes is a
Nunes,
good striker.
Nunez at United.
If Nunes had come, he'd be like Cavani
He misses
again.
he misses too many chances.
Slow down. I'm going to defend him here.
I same.
Well, you got about
Dysfunction-
3 minutes,
That's
so-
fine. I can need 20 seconds. Dysfunctional Liverpool team.
Dysfunctional United team.
Yeah, but I still think focal point wise, the way remember Liverpool work via Salah. That's their main focus. So this is Nunes having to scrap for whatever's.
And
left
you have
after that.
Bruno.
You've got Bruno,
We'll see next season.
and you've
but-
got Rashford. Imagine if you had Nunes and then Rashford playing off him there. For me, that works because that's a better workhorse.
Yeah, I just don't think he's a great finisher, but we'll see.
So he's on. Now you've added him to your forward
Okay,
watch as
forward
well.
watch.
Fucking
Yeah,
guy.
go on.
Go ahead, go on.
You didn't choose. You did, but you stole my award on the hairdo one.
I
Wait,
mean,
is it? Did we do worst? This was worst. I did worst.
Yeah,
Yeah,
West,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
okay, worst. Okay.
So West was for you.
Alcaraz, because
Looks like a bird shot on
I
his head.
don't know how we can describe what you're seeing in front of you right now. Yeah.
Who's yours? I mean,
fair,
this is mine.
I went for Rashford just to annoy you, and I'll let you do the talking.
Honestly, whoever
Rashford's barber, whoever you are, do not let him go on the pitch anymore because this is an absolute travesty.
stealing a living.
Every day, every time, you just let him go on with this dodgy trim, man. Like, I'm sorry, but it's a fucking travesty. I've gone with Oliver Skip because he just looks like
Nothing
an
else there.
old man who's 22 years old with Lego hair. Like, absolute vanilla guy. But we'll leave it at that. So we've got 2 more minutes, and our last category,
Well done.
meltdown. Who have you gone for, mate?
Got Parker. I mean, he must feel like an absolute.
Twat. I mean, he looks like
a very
one.
good choice. Actually, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah.
This season he had here
Was it like the
about-
first 3 or 4 games? and he
Yeah,
just
Chelsea
like
yeah.
lost,
said it-
was it 7-0, 9-0?
something like
Yeah,
that.
he's complaining about
No signings.
transfers,
Yeah.
signings, and then Gary Neal came in and
Did the job,
Did the
And
job.
then he got another job in Belgium.
and he flopped.
Flopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause they got banged in not Conference League. Europe. Yeah, it was Conference
Something
League.
something like that. Yeah.
They lost like 6-7-1 on aggregate or something. Yeah.
You can go first, mate.
I mean, this one kind of wins
Writes
itself,
itself.
but Conte and
Completely forgot about that one.
that meltdown.
Beautiful.
It just
It's like babies were singing,
just,
and
just remember the team that I support, and just remember why this was so beautiful for me to witness.
there was a statement. He said the players don't like responsibility, and there's always an excuse by the journalists about how
Did
they
he question like Tottenham's like
ambition.
ambitions?
Yeah.
He questioned everything,
Fair play to him.
and he was managing them, which means I need to play that clip whenever I speak to a Spurs fan.
Got 45 seconds, and my meltdown was Graham Potter. Just the way I feel sorry for him,
What
but
you talking about when he left Chelsea?
I just think the whole charade about him being the next big thing, how it flopped, how he postured in the media, came with new trims, new suits and everything is the biggest next thing. And he was like, yeah, fucking, we're going to win the Champions League. And then the way he just went away.
I hate to be that guy, but I said he shouldn't have gone to Chelsea because it was too messy.
It was too
There
obvious,
was no
man.
way that he would get the time that he needed to do everything. They had locker rooms where people were spilling out, like the
Too many
first
players,
team changing room. So
I don't blame him too much, to be honest. But yeah,
I do.
You,
Play
you made your
stupid
choice,
games,
man.
win
Yeah,
stupid
yeah.
prizes.
Yeah.
And that concludes the books.
Thank you, guys. Been a pleasure.
Till next
Hopefully
time.
you're not dying in your top again.
It's all right. It's done. It's all right.
Till next time,
Till
guys.
next time.
Thank you.
Toodles.